How can my cross become a tree? Here's something for you to imagine. Imagine that you're an apple seed and you are being carried by a farmer in a little bag with your friends. They're also apple seeds. You think it's a great adventure, but then one of your friends tells you, "Don't think we're going for a picnic. We're going to be buried in the ground." That's what I heard the man say. But why? Why does he want to bury us? This is scary. Just then the man stops and opens the bag. A big hand scoops up a handful of you. Then the man pokes his finger into the soil and starts dropping the seeds one by one into the soil. He's just about to drop you in when you shout, "No, no, please, Mr. Man, don't drop me into the soil." The farmer stops and looks at you with a smile. "Well, well, what have we here? A seed that doesn't want to be sown? All right, little one, I'll give you a choice. You can stay in my bag and remain as you are, or you can go down into the soil, get nice and wet and soft, and break your skin, your seed coat." "Break my skin? Oh no!" And then, surprise, exciting things will start to happen to you. You'll grow shoots and a root, and as I water you from above, your shoot will come out of the soil, out into the bright air. This sounds better. You will grow stronger and taller until you're a tree. Then you'll get flowers, and at last, hundreds of apples for everyone to enjoy, and for more and more trees to grow from. So, what do you think, little seed? Have you made your choice? Uh, can I please become a tree without breaking my skin? Pretty please? With a cherry on the top? The farmer says to you, "I'm sorry. If you want to help me, if you want to feed many people, if you want to become really great, you must be ready to go into the soil and let your skin break. Now, choose. What would you choose if you were that seed? It will be tough to be in the dark and to let your skin break. Jesus had to face a choice like this too. Let's read about it. A reading from the Gospel of St. John. Jesus said, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Very truly I tell you, unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds." Does that sound like our story? Now, what hour was Jesus talking about? He said, "The hour has come." Any ideas? It was the time when he would suffer and die. Very often he spoke about it, calling it his hour. Now, who do you think Jesus was comparing the wheat to? The grain of wheat. Any crop grown by a farmer, himself, or his followers? I think it means both himself and his followers. But we'll read on and check this out. Jesus continued, "Anyone who loves their life will lose it, while anyone who hates their life in this world will keep it for eternal life. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, my servant also will be. My Father will honor the one who serves me." So, what do you think? Jesus was talking about his followers also. He said, "I'm going to die, and you also must follow my example so that both of us can be together." Now, another question. Do you think it was difficult for Jesus to think of dying on the cross? After all, he's God, so he shouldn't find it difficult. We'll see what Jesus himself said. Now my soul is troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, it was for this very reason I came to this hour. Father, glorify your name. Then a voice came from heaven. I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again. So was it difficult? What do you think? Yes, it was. He said, my soul is troubled. So what do you think Jesus felt like saying? He felt like saying, Father, save me from this hour. Remember, Jesus was a human too, and he felt fear like any one of us. What helped Jesus to say no to fear and to face the suffering? He remembered God's plan for him, and he wanted God's glory. He said, Father, glorify your name. Now, we talked about the seed that would grow into an apple tree if the seed was ready to die. Now, I have a question about this. What fruit would Jesus bear by dying on the cross? What good would come? Once again, we listen to Jesus himself. Jesus continued, Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be driven out, and I, when I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all men to myself. So what was the fruit? The ruler of the world, that means Satan, would be driven out. And what else? He would bring everyone to God, to himself. So the cross would change into a tree of life full of fruit. Let's think about our lives. A few weeks ago, I was at my friend's deathbed, and I said to her, so much suffering. And she gave me a very surprising answer. She said, I need it. My friend had understood the value of suffering and of her cross. And then I remembered how she and her husband used to sit every evening and meditate on these words of St. Francis de Sales. I'd like to share these words with you. St. Francis talks about your cross. The everlasting God has, in his wisdom, foreseen from eternity the cross that he now presents to you as a gift from his inmost heart. This cross he now sends you, he has considered with his all-knowing eyes, understood with his divine mind, tested with his wise justice, warmed with his loving arms, and weighed with his own hands, to see that it be not 1 inch too large and not 1 ounce too heavy for you. He has blessed it with his holy name, anointed it with his consolation, taken one last glance at you and your courage, and then sent it to you from heaven, a special greeting from God to you, and arms of the all-merciful love of God. So when God gives us a cross, he doesn't just give it without thinking about it. He thinks about us and lovingly gives us a cross because he knows it's good for us and good for many more people. So do we also have to suffer sometimes? Do we feel afraid of suffering? Do we get upset? Jesus says, follow me and learn from me. I too was troubled when I thought about my cross. Ask yourself 2 questions. What does God want from me? What will give him glory? Remember, suffering will pass, and I will change your cross into a fruitful tree. You will help me to save many people. Are you willing? to die to your selfishness and live for God and for love? Be quiet and give Jesus your answer. If you are in a group or family, think about some little ways God may ask you to die so that you can become fruitful and become into a tree. Bye for this week.